Starting out today's news, we can see that we do have an article here about rare Beatles interviews being minted into NFTs and headed to an auction. So again, it's really to see that the people who own the intellectual property, the IP here on some of this cool stuff like rare Beatles interviews are getting into NFTs. It's a great way to launch it and to share it with the public while still retaining a resale value, which is something that was hard to do in the past. I think we'll start seeing more and more of this stuff as we go. You guys are already starting to see things like this pick up where we're seeing traditional media and kind of old school assets, old school IP coming back and being recycled and reissued on the blockchain as an NFT. It's excellent. It's a way to keep things collectible for a long period of time, essentially forever. In that same vein of news, we do have another project doing similar things and bringing some old art, which are some Andy Warhol screen prints. They are two of them are t-shirts and one of them is a screen print on a canvas. And what they're doing is they're turning those into NFTs and auctioning those off, and then the winner of the NFT will get the actual item. So again, guys, these are really big name people. The Beatles, Andy Warhol, really big popular artists and musicians that are now coming onto the blockchain, and their IP will live forever. We had an article published here in October, basically on Halloween here, October 31st, you can see by Vitalik. If you guys don't know who Vitalik Buterin is, he is essentially the guy that invented Ethereum with the help of a few other people, namely Gavin Woods and Charles Hopkinson. But Vitalik was like the brainchild of it, and so we think of him as the wizard and the father of Ethereum. And so when he publishes an article like this, people definitely take notice. It's something to read through and consider some of the things that he talks about here. We're not going to cover that, but there are some projects here that he mentions in addition to Miami, which is an actual city already doing things with the blockchain. He mentions one that we're going to talk about here, which is CityDAO. And so we see here that a crypto investor has bought 40 acres of land in Wyoming to build a blockchain city. So 40 acres isn't a ton of land, but I guess it's like a medium to small size city. So really great to see that they have a little chunk of land there and they're looking to essentially build their city as a DAO. It is in Wyoming, and Wyoming recently passed that you can actually recognize a decentralized autonomous organization or a DAO as a legal entity and an actual business operating within the legal guidelines of their state. So I think that's why Wyoming was chosen. However, I can also tell you that I traveled through this area this summer with my family up through Wyoming and Montana, and this is actually some of the most beautiful parts of the country. I don't know the actual piece of land that they got because it looks like it's just a lot of sand and dirt right there in this picture, but that area there near Yellowstone National Park and up in the southern Montana, northern Wyoming area is absolutely beautiful, so definitely a cool place to have a city. We also have some news here of the first NFT ETF, electronically traded fund, launching. Pretty interesting to see. There's not a lot of information here in the article about what NFTs they're planning on buying. As of right now, it says that they're basically just holding a few companies, so they're buying investments in shares and stocks or whatever in traditional companies that they think are going to be big for NFTs in the future. There's a little bit of weird ones in here, but there are some other good ones, so we'll see what they have to come. Right now they're listing eBay, Square, Funko, Robinhood, and DraftKings alongside crypto and blockchain companies, and it doesn't tell you what the crypto and blockchain companies are, which I think would be the more important ones to list here. So there's some big name brands there either way, just don't see exactly how some of those fit in with a NFT ETF just yet, unless they're hinting at some of these brands releasing very soon. Funko, we could definitely see. Square is a payment, and obviously Robinhood is a trading platform, and then we have eBay is like a marketplace, and DraftKings as a gamified fantasy sports league. So a lot of cool big brands there. Be interesting to see what this ETF does, and the index is called NFTZ if you're interested in investing in that. And finally, to kind of round out the news here, we have something rather crazy. We have an artist sells her eggs, essentially her actual ovary eggs, as an NFT. So she made a painting and she sold that painting, and including in that painting is the option or the ability to receive one of her eggs and fertilize it and actually conceive a child. It's pretty crazy to think about as an art project, a child as an art project, but this is definitely the first of its kind, so I thought it was worth mentioning. She's saying that, you know, what she hopes for it to be is someone to buy it and then fertilize her egg, and then, you know, someone else to basically pay to adopt the child, and the child to be an art project. That's kind of a little bit weird to me that you're using a human as art, but it's also pretty cool that they are, you know, essentially creating life with their art. So two different flip sides to that, but just, you know, something weird and kind of interesting and different regardless of how you feel about a child or an egg or whatever being part of a piece of art. It's interesting that something like this is coming to the NFT space, and definitely worth mentioning as news.